Good morning. Well, it's Sunday, so I got my good cardboard out. Nice slippery stuff. It's perfect for scooting underneath. And we are checking diff fluid. So we're going to do that. And that tranny leaks enough that I'd really like to check the level on that. But come to do some research on this NV 4500 that's in this here diesel rig. That stuff's made out of unobtainium. Like I can't even buy the right fluid for it anywhere locally. Apparently Amsoil still makes some stuff. GM makes it. I phoned the local dealership in town there. They had 6 bottles. They wanted $50 per bottle. There is no way I am dumping $250 worth of oil in a tranny that leaks as much as this one does. So that's out. So we're going to have to figure something else out there. More research required. But one way or another, we got to deal with that tranny. I can't have a leaky tranny, and I can't have a tranny with no oil in it. And so that's going to have to come out. A certain amount of that wetness. And like you can see, it's pretty wet. A certain amount of that wetness is coming out of the blow-by tube too. So that's not all tranny oil. I'm still not exactly sure where it's all coming out. A certain amount of it might be rear main seal too. I now suspect the rear main seal might be leaking on this thing a little bit. And again, none of this stuff really, I mean, it matters, but when I looked underneath it, when I bought it, I was like, okay, well, that tranny will be coming out at some point. So, which is fine. I've pulled a lot of trannies in my time. We'll get it out of there. We'll put it in, we'll reseal it, we'll inspect the clutch. It seems to run pretty good. My understanding is that these trannies have carbon synchros in them. Carbon composite synchros. So, if that's the case, it needs the special made from unobtainium fluid. It was originally Castrol Syntorq. Dodge made it. Both Castrol and Dodge have both discontinued their lines. GM still makes it. They want $50 a bottle. Amsoil makes one that they say is okay, but nobody can really back that up. They want, I think, $25 a jug, for like a quart or a liter or whatever you want to call it. So I might have to go that road. But this tranny's been rebuilt. So there's a really good chance that whoever rebuilt it might have put brass synchros in which case my requirements for oil change drastically. And then I can just use any API-GL4 oil that's good for manual transmissions and run it and live a long, happy life knowing that I don't have $50 a liter oil in my tranny that is super special. Otherwise, my synchros are going to die. Anyway, to make a long story shorter, that's what we need to do. We need to figure out what's in that tranny. We need to figure out what kind of synchros are in it, and then we can determine what kind of oil we need to run. And also, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm still convinced a fair amount of that seepage is coming out of those PTO covers. There's one on each side. I think they're both leaking. As always, in my quest to find better oil, ways to get gear oil into things that are hard to get gear oil into, which is everything that needs gear oil. I don't have a pump. I might buy one of these days. But today, I'm using this cleaned out old fuel can nozzle, and it threads in there like a little bit, and it's working actually beautifully. And I can just squirt my gear oil in there. So she's for sure about a half a liter low already. We got right to the top of my nozzle. We'll let her drain in there. But another thing that works really good, I'm going to show you this, is for all you fellers that complain about DEF trucks, I hear you. Okay, I just want to say I hear you. But one of the best things I found about DEF stuff is that they all come with these fancy little nozzles. And I have found, now it probably won't fit on this one, but I have found that these things fit on a lot of, yeah, it won't fit on this one. It's made for the bigger jugs, like something like this. And you can watch, it probably doesn't fit on this one either. No, it doesn't. Anyway, okay, I'm wrong twice. Hold on. I guarantee I have a jug it fits on. It fits, you know what jug it fits on? It fits on the same jug that windshield wiper fluid comes in. So whatever thread that is in size fits on this one. So anyway, I see these things lying on the side of the road everywhere. Whenever I get my hands on one, I take it and I bring it home and I use it for transferring some kind of fluid somewhere. Anyway, best thing that's come out of DEF, guaranteed. It's now several days later. I have obtained my magical transmission fluid that I need to change the transmission fluid in this NV4500. And I got it draining right now. I jacked up the back of the truck just to get more out of it. And I'll show you what we got going on. Whoa, bear with me. Bear with me. It's rainy and cold. It's miserable weather. I'm not working today. There's no work, so we're working on trucks instead. So I'm in the process of cleaning my cover with my Yin Yin. Great tool for that. There's different ones for different surfaces if you're wanting to get into that. It works good. This is what we're running. After tons and tons of research, they don't make the right fluid for these magical unicorn transmissions anymore. So I went with the only one that I could find. People say A, it works, and B, it says right on the package that it's good for this one. So I feel like if they are willing to put right on the package, put it in that transmission, then I think that's, yeah, as close as I'm going to get, considering you can't get what you're supposed to put in it. Don't mind all the gasket maker. Two of these they were giving them away. They were clearing them out. So I bought some ultra copper because why not? For the price I paid for it. It was cheap, like $5 cheap. And same with this one. This is my go-to though. I wasn't walking out of the store without the one that I went to get, which is ultra black. I don't know. There's different kinds for different things. I find that works on darn near everything. I've never had a gasket I've made with this start leaking, so that's what I'm going with. So that's today's project, get that tranny refilled. So I have to clean the transmission. I'm gonna sop some of the oil out of the pan so that way it's not running out when I put my gasket on. Put my gasket on my cover, put the cover on, wait an hour, torque the bolts, wait till tomorrow, fill it with fluid. Now, I've fired fluid in these things literally minutes after torquing them down and had them not leak. I've also had them leak. When I want them to not leak for sure, and this is over $100 worth of fluid here, by the way, you let it wait the 24 hours. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'll get to putting all my gasket maker on and getting everything cleaned up, and I'll maybe shoot a little video of installing it, and then tomorrow we'll fill it, and then away we go. Alright. It's the next day now. Now we're going to top this trans up with fluid. And I've never got gear oil in these types of packages before, but I looked at it and went, huh, that might be easier to get in the transmission because you can just smoosh the package wherever you need it to go. Well, it's also easier to make a mess apparently. Well, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. I realize this is nothing all that interesting. I did, however, generally there's not usually a magnet on the fill plug, but this one had a little recess in it and looked like it could take a magnet, and I had a magnet, so I'm going to put a magnet on the fill plug. Usually you want your magnet at the bottom, but I don't see any real magnet in this tranny. Well, that's not too bad. I kind of like these packages. I guess there's the non-reusable factor. Whoa, 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 why are you coming out? Oh, I made a mess. I think it's time a guy buys one of them fancy pumps. I mean, this is... I don't think you'd get it in here with a regular bottle, though, I'll say that. This package is definitely... I wonder. I think I can do better. I think I can do better. We're gonna try something. No, we got it all in there. I made a bit of a mess. Lots of guys say to overfill these. Lots of guys say fill them from the top. I just fired it in the hole, full to the bottom of the hole like always. But I guess the fluid's the same temperature as my body temperature, because I couldn't feel it in there with my finger. I was like, what? There's not, like, I'm not even at it yet. I've put 4 liters. It's only supposed to hold 4. So I bent this zip tie, and the nice thing about zip ties is they make like the perfect dipstick. And I just shove it in there, and then you can look, oh yeah, it's full. So, and it uses the little ribs on the zip tie work the same as the little ribs on the dipstick. So that works beautiful. So we're gonna reinstall my new to me magnetic drain plug. That magnet fits in there like perfect. Like I said, oh, that's kind of dicey. You don't usually see magnets on the fill plugs, but I don't know. It can't hurt. This tranny's coming out of here, no doubt about it. Probably sooner than later. I'm curious now that I know that it's full and properly full. I'm curious to see how quickly it's leaking. I bought an extra quart of gear oil to top it up until I get a chance to deal with it, because pulling this tranny and transfer case is a bit of a project, no doubt about it, and I don't really want to do it right this second, although I don't know if there's a better time to do it. Certainly a worse time, but I guarantee I pull the tranny and transfer case, this truck will be down for a couple of weeks minimum. And it's going to take me probably the better part of a Saturday to pull it, maybe the whole day, and then depending on what seals. I mean, a guy could go ahead and just order an input and output seal, but I'm not entirely sure where it's leaking. That's 99% of the problem. I think it's leaking from the bell housing, but I don't know, it could be leaking here. The problem is it's leaking at the front and it's going backwards. It's really bad on the other side. Some of that's coming out of the blow-by tube, just oil-like residue. It doesn't leave puddles, but it leaves drips everywhere, like just like, you know, a half a dozen to a dozen drips of oil everywhere I park it. So I really don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. So I don't know. It's a project. It's a project, but I'll tell you what, I don't want it leaking everywhere. I want to seal it up. So it is going to come out one way or the other. The question is when. Probably sooner than later, to be honest with you. If I check it in a week and it needs a half a liter of this, well, that's a $20 a $20 or a $40 a month oil leak. We'll call it that. If it leaks half a liter a week, that's a liter every 2 weeks. That's 2 liters every month. That's $40 a month dripping on the ground, which isn't a, you know, that's whatever. It's money. I don't want my money dripping out of my truck. I don't want my money dripping out of my pocket. Anyway, that'll conclude our festivities. I'm gonna load Ruby up, and we're gonna go for a car ride. We're gonna go see our buddy. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.